Welcome to this wonderful class. You'll be learning how to use MySQL. MySQL is a database management system which is used to manage database, create databases and others. These are the contents for this lesson. MySQL installation. You are going to learn how to install MySQL for those that don't have it. Then how to configure a password for your MySQL. Creating and deleting a database. Then seeing the databases that you have. Updating a database, creating and deleting a table, seeing the tables that you have, calling out specific field names or records, updating a record, maybe you made a mistake and you want to change it, updating a field name, which is adding an extra field name to an existing table. Then the last thing we're going to be doing is going to be creating and deleting users. So seeing the users you have, granting privileges to users, and then revoking privileges from users. So that's what you're going to do today. So let's get started. First of all, for those of you that have not yet installed MySQL into your system, so you don't have it, this is what you are going to do. If you are not a root user, you have to use sudo. I'm currently entering into my root account so that when I type commands, I will not have to be putting sudo at the beginning and then typing my password over and over again. So my password. Now I am a root user. Now we'll be installing our MySQL. Let me maximize my screen. Then we'll be using apt install MySQL server space -y. The -y is not really important. It's just so that when you hit enter now, they will not start to ask you whether you want to continue on it. Will automatically input yes for them, which is why you just hit enter. I already have MySQL in my Kali. It was here by default. So for those of you that don't have it, that might be using Ubuntu or any other Linux terminal that doesn't have MySQL installed, you use this. And if it doesn't work, you can also use apt install MariaDB that server that server space -y. So this MariaDB is also another database management system that can also be used to manage a database. When we are installing it, the difference here is only the name. The environment of MariaDB is the same with MySQL, and the way you enter into the environment of your MariaDB is the same way you enter into the environment of your MySQL. All the commands that we run in MySQL environment is what you also run in MariaDB, so there's no much difference there. If the MySQL doesn't work for you, then you can use MariaDB. And please know that this is not the only type of database management systems that we have. We have others such as Oracle, MS SQL, MS Access, and others. But this is the one I'm going to be teaching for today. You can hit enter. I have MariaDB already installed my PC. Now what you have to do is to check whether it's currently active, whether our MariaDB or MySQL is running. Because if it's not running, you cannot be able to enter into the environment. So then we'll do systemctl, which is for system control status MySQL dot service. When we're installing it, we use dot server, but here we're using dot service. Mine is inactive right now. So let me check for my MariaDB too. Systemctl status MariaDB dot service. So it's also inactive, which shows that it's dead, it's not running. Let me try doing without the service. So you can also just do system status MariaDB or MySQL without the service. It's not really important. Now to start it, to start our MySQL, all we have to do is this system, the same thing, our system control CTL. So a start. Before we used status, but now I'm using start MySQL. Now let's check the status. System control status MySQL. You see it's currently active. Now to exit from here, all we have to do is colon and kill. So this is what I did, only this with the letter kill. So this thing right here is what I did to exit from where we were before. Let's check the status of our MariaDB with system control status MariaDB. You see it's also running, but you can see that I started only MySQL, but now MariaDB is also running, it's also active. When I checked the last time, both of them were inactive. So now to exit it, you can use only the letter kill, or you can still go with your colon and kill, but kill is also more easier. So I used only this here, only the letter kill to exit. So there was no need for me to start putting colon and kill.